But have you ever thought, what if this is all just a dream? And we're just waiting in line to wake up? And most people think I'm insane. Once you realize that all the shit you used to care so much about just keeps you a prisoner of your own mind.
V&O, what you know? You saw me yesterday and I'm back. What's up, everybody? Thank you for joining us, man. We had an excellent show yesterday with my man Dwayne of Ace Motorcycle Brand. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. It's only on Facebook right now, but I'm going to get it uploaded to YouTube. Man, these guys. Wait. I've been trying to do this, man. Look, here's what happened. This platform is great that I'm using, but the platform is not, I just want to do more. So I've been trying to use another platform, and it's just little things. I love the production side of it, but it's just not working. I say all of that to say this. My people over at Karma, I've been trying to run this commercial for like 5 years, it seems like, and it is not running. It's not been working out for me. So here we go. V&O Productions directed, shot this. If you need something like this, let your boy know. Holler at me.
My name is Darren Shah. I own a Karma cigar bar in Maryville. Karma is known for the largest cigar selection in the Midwest. We got cigar selection from Ashton's to Drew Estate, and my father's, you name it, we got Davidoff, we got Camacho, we got Monte Cristos, we got from boutique to mainstream cigars. We also have a full bar. We're known for a good bourbon bar. We have a full bar, liquor license. We got tequilas. We got Añejo tequila. We are the perfect cigar smokers destination.
Yes, victory, baby. For my people over at Karma Cigar Bar. Hey, yo, man, we got a great show for you today. You saw the description. Jason and Dana Silver. I've been trying to hook up with these guys for a while now, man. And just my favorite saying is just life be lifing. And so that's what happened. Life was lifing, and they just, man, they both own businesses moving at the speed of light, and then just life started life and different things. They moved, family stuff, and finally here at the end of February, I think I talked to Jason like the beginning of, or maybe mid-January, and I finally got to hook up with them, man. These are two great people. We were sitting down backstage before the show, talking. Jason was a contractor on an HGTV show, 50K Three Ways. Dana owns her own design studio. Jason owns Silverbullet, remodeling and construction. Yo, y'all in for one, man. Here we go. What's up, guys?
What's going on, Rob?
Hey, thanks for having us.
Thank you for being here. I'm so excited to have you guys. I'm excited to, I got to learn a little bit about you, and I'm excited to learn even more about you. I always say, I like organic conversation. I don't call them interviews, I call it conversation. Uh, and I just wanted to come out. Maybe it's somebody, I always say, ordinary people with extraordinary stories. The reason I do this is because there's a little Jason and a little Dana that really don't know how to get off the ground, maybe, and they need to hear these stories. They need to hear your story. They need to hear Dwayne's story that I had yesterday. They need to hear Jennifer's story, who I had last week, so they can move in life. This is why I do this. Ordinary people with extraordinary stories. You guys have an extraordinary story. Jason, what's up, man?
What's going on? How you doing?
Oh,
Nice
pretty good.
commercial, by the way. That looks real clean.
What'd you say?
And the commercial looks real nice. That Karma
Oh,
commercial.
I tried.
It looks good.
V&O Productions, baby. If you want something like that, holler at your boy. But yeah, man, I learned. We were talking, and I just, man, when you jump in, you dive head first. And shout out to my people over at Dope Living TV. When I first started, Mr. Greg Gray, he helped me out tremendously, and he kind of, they just encouraged me, really. They encouraged me even when I was messing up. They encouraged me. Some of my earlier stuff looked terrible. My homegirl Marcy over at Dope Living TV. What's up, Marcy? I got a Greg Gray, Mo. It's a lot of them. My cousin, he's a life coach Jeff. They all helped me out to find a platform and to just encourage me to do things like that. So, whatever you guys need. Jason, man, you did a TV show, man, HGTV, 50K 3 ways. And we were talking about that, man. It was interesting because you were telling me like they kind of just threw you in the fire, man. Like you're a contractor. You work with your hands.
Yeah, for sure. So the star of the show, Tiffany Brooks, she's TV. She's good. She's a heck of a designer. She does amazing stuff. But she's, big time TV. She's done a bunch of shows. She won a competition. She knows her stuff. And not being someone that goes on TV or gets in front of a camera, really, the first handful of times I was with her, I really felt out of place. Not that I wasn't welcome, but she's such a professional. And then all the camera crew and the producer and the sound guys and everyone, they were so professional, kind of threw me out of place, and it took me a little bit to learn how the TV side works. And it was just something you jump in it. You got to jump in, otherwise, you'll never figure it out. So
no doubt, man. Yeah, no doubt. I mean, that's got to be scary. Like you're there because, like I said, you work with your hands, man. You're good at what you do. But like TV, those people know TV, and just to get thrown into TV, like that's got to be.
Yeah, it's a weird thing, and having the camera in front of you, it's you have multiple cameras, you have people, the boom mics, everyone's seen the microphone on a stick, and it's floating above you, and there's just so much going on. It's kind of wild. And then
Right.
I'm a contractor and a sailor, so my mouth, I got a pretty bad potty mouth, so it's hard to kind of hold back. And when you're just used to cussing here and there and saying
Right.
a certain way, especially on job sites when things happen,
Yeah.
you got to really just kind of keep in back in your mind, hey, there could be I don't know, a couple 100,000 people watching you one day.
Right.
I don't know the numbers, but it's HGTV, and I know Tiffany has a good following, so I'm sure there is. I don't know, but 100,000 million people, I don't know, but
yeah, man, yeah, no doubt. Was it ever was it live, or was it always recorded, or
Yeah, no, it was always recorded. So we filmed everything. We were still filming like the last episode when the first one came out.
Okay.
So it was done over, I remember, like 8 months, 6 to 8 months, I think.
Right.
We did
Right.
11 projects. But no, nothing was live. It was all recorded. They did start turning a lot of those episodes on real fast. I think once they caught the groove of the show,
Right.
and our dynamic picked up, and the producers fine-tuned things and kind of guide the show a certain way. Once they got doing that, everything just turned around real fast. It felt more like anything you do for a while with people, you get cohesive. And we just kind of, at the end of the day, everyone was friends and family. I still work with Tiffany. I'm one of her contractors to this day.
Okay.
The producer Nina, I do stuff for she owns a small shop in LaGrange that she does things. I still work with her all the time. I still talk to these people. So we became friends through the whole process.
Cool, man. Yeah, yeah. As I'm listening to you, like I'm saying, was it live? But like still, you're the guy, you come on, man, with all these people that are professionally trained to be on TV, and then you get on there and now they gotta, you're the one that's messing up the scenes. Like you might say something, it's like, oh man, now we got to do it all over because of you.
Yeah.
It's like it's pressure.
It is weird. But again, you learn that you can mess up. They have a lot of film. They have, hundreds of hours of film. They just keep on
Right.
going. And then someone will fix it. It could take 10, 15 times to get it right. But the audience doesn't know that, right? It's
Right.
not like now we do something dumb right now, everyone knows about it.
Yeah, right. Right. Because this is the
Go back and fix it. Yeah.
the reason, and I've been, boy, have I messed up. The reason I go live is because basically because of what you said, man. Look, when I first started, I was not good at editing. I've gotten a lot better, but I just didn't want to do it. Now I kind of enjoy it, but it's time consuming, and you don't want to go through, hours of. Man, I remember I was editing one, and it took me. I think I was working on it for like 2 hours, man. And I got through, I looked, I was like, all right, let me see what I got. And I ran it and it was like 15 seconds long. And I was like, yo, man, I don't want us to be sitting here doing this. Like, I absolutely do not want to do this. So that's why I go live, is because I don't want to edit. So yeah, it's still the pressure. It's still the pressure.
I feel like for your end too, you get a little more real side of someone. Like you're going to talk to us, we're going to have a conversation. Like you said, this is a important thing. I'm not selling myself. We're not selling. We want to have a conversation about, like you said, maybe there's someone out there that's looking to do what we do, or looking to do what you do. And
Yeah.
having a conversation about it is the best way for someone to maybe learn.
Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of what we do, Dana, I don't want to leave you out. You do some amazing work. Can you tell us a little bit about, let me pronounce it right. It's Desa.
Yep, you got it.
Desa.
Studio.
Yeah, can you tell us a little bit about Desa and what you do?
Sure. So we work on both residential and commercial interior spaces. So everything from the very beginning of a design phase all the way through the finishing touches. So a lot of times some are new construction homes, some are full renovations. Sometimes clients just want furniture. So we do go wholesale to a lot of different manufacturers. And then all the way through the finishing touches of artwork and accessories.
Wow. And the thing that struck me is that's a lot, so you do the people, when people walk in, do they know what they want, or do you have to kind of like guide them through it? Or how many people do you work with as far as like work alongside with?
Yeah, so it varies. Sometimes people will say, we know we need a change, but we don't exactly know what we need. So then I would go out to their home site and walk through the different areas that they're looking to work on, and then kind of help map out a plan with them.
Okay.
A lot of times, especially when you're tackling a large scale project such as renovating your entire first floor, we need to kind of take it in phases, right? So not everyone has the money to dump in for all of that at once. So a lot of times we'll start to map out an entire plan for the whole first floor, but then figure out how to execute it within phases.
Okay. The thing that would drive me crazy, you know what? The thing that drives me crazy right now in my industry is when I first got in, I'm an iron worker, been iron working for, I keep saying 17, but I think it's going on 18 years now. So when I first got in, what you got is what you get. Like, if it's on paper, you don't get a second chance. But now, like, they're doing these build outs where like people, like, they just change their mind. I got my buddy, He's a foreman on the job. Look at Jason. Jason, you felt that in your back. Yeah, man. Like these people, he's going through right now, man, for the company we work for. He's doing a casino downtown. And he's like, dude, I have done these stairs. We put them in, we take them out. We put them in, we take it out. And like that's guy as a designer, that has to drive you crazy. Tell me that it doesn't.
You know, honestly, I feel like once our clients kind of commit to something, we don't tend to have a lot of like the back and forth and changing out of things because they've already put in the order. We've created the visual. We work a lot with 3D programs to be able to show them exactly what something's going to look like. And then we also bring them material samples so that they can feel and touch and they get a good sense of what they're, you know, jumping into before we place any orders.
Right. That's what you say, but Jason, you must be working with some good people because Jason, you look like you feel the pain, man.
Yeah, you know, change orders, right? Everyone wants to change.
Yes.
Sometimes that's not a bad thing. So a lot of times, for instance, if working with Dana, there is a good design element and we're doing the construction project and everything's going great and they want more. It's not, not like, oh, you know what? Hey, can we jump into this or can we add that? And, you know, I mean, in construction, a lot of times people think because you're there, it's just, you could just keep on going, but there's schedules and there's this and that. And, you know, you got to balance trying to make everyone happy. Good product, but then getting to the next client too, right? So times when you're working with other good people that are providing a great product on her end, people get super excited when it finally gets in. They're like, all right, can you start the next bathroom tomorrow? Or when can you get a basement going? This is, you know, that's the biggest
scope creep.
Yeah, knock on wood. That's one of the problems that people just want to keep on working with us and using us and adding stuff on. Or hey, we like this light. Can we add another light here? Or can we add can we add another cabinet or just bigger, better? You know, that's very rarely a negative change order, right?
Yeah. Well, I guess it is. I guess it is a good thing, you know, especially when you own the business because you're adding on. But a lot of times the time doesn't change. Well, I know like sometimes you know, I'm not the owner of my company, but like it's like sometimes they forget that they asked you to do something different and that I was already done when you asked me, but they still want it done by Friday. It's like, yo, man, like you gave me this week to finish this and then you changed it 5 times and you still want it by Friday. I guess that's my pain on my side. You get to make the money at the end of the day.
I'm sure my guys have the same feeling about stuff I tell them to do, or they did it once already, or, you know, things get mixed up in the, you know, they get the wrong product to the job site. Yeah, no, that's not true, unfortunately. Unfortunately, that's not true.
This is Union Ironworker speaking. That's my guy, man. Todd. He actually does remodeling too. CT Homes in this area, but he probably doesn't think like that now. But as a Union Ironworker, a lot of guys think like that.
I still, you know, I still work in the field. I drive my van around every day with my tool. I don't use them as much as I used to, but you know, I still get dirty every now and then. Not as much. Just doing more job site management and sales and making sure things are done right, billing wise and things like that. But things happen on sites, right? And sometimes, you know, sometimes adding a little time on does add a few bucks, and sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes you lose money. Sometimes you misjudge a project, or you misjudge how long something's going to take, or, you know, these cabinets come in and they're way harder to put in than you assumed, or you know, it happens. Or you know, you get all these windows or doors that are pre-measured, and then the roughing carpenters make everything a little bit too small or a little bit too big. And you get and who do you charge for that? Well, when it's someone like me that we do most things in house, I can't charge myself.
Right.
So, you know, I got to yell at a guy maybe, but that's about all you can really do and say, hey, we got to just make sure we get the right measurements. So
right now I'm in a position of the guy that probably gets yelled at for that. So like I cringe a little bit, you know, and stuff like that. But yeah, I feel that. So Dana, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to jack the conversation from you. So I just had to answer Jason's face. But but yeah, like so it's not as much pressure on you, I guess. It's pressure, but it's not as much pressure on you, like as far as change orders go. You get the you get the design and you hand it over to a Jason, you know what I mean? And then that's when the pain takes place, I guess. Like Jason said, something's too small or somebody else messed up now, you know, but you can't charge, you're the owner. You can't charge it back to yourself. Uh so how did you we talked a little bit earlier, you know, this is ordinary people with extraordinary stories. How do you get into something like that? Like it kind of made my stomach hurt a little bit when you told me like how you got into it because I don't like school. Like I don't but how did you get into this?
So as far as getting into interior design, I originally had a bachelor's in fashion and business. And I was in the new home sales industry back when we had the big housing boom and then the crash of '08. And that was when my dad had purchased a home in Michigan and had a pipe burst while he was out of town, and it totaled the main level of his home. So I flew up on my days off and went and helped and picked out cabinets, countertop, appliances, flooring. And then at the end of the day, met with his interior designer that he had hired to confirm that she was good with all the selections. And she was like, yep, you picked everything I would have picked. She's like, let me show you this mood board for this house in Miami I'm designing. And she started showing me a bunch of different projects that she was working on. And I was like, this is so cool. And we left there and my dad looked at me and he said, why are you not doing this for a living? So that was kind of the light bulb moment.
Right.
And this was on a Thursday. And by Monday, I was enrolled in a whole nother bachelor's for interior design. And quit my job and started all over again. So, but I really wanted the educational background to really solidify and give myself the confidence in moving forward to build my own business. So
do you think because things how long ago was that?
that was in, let's see, so it was 2008.
Okay.
I went back to school. And then I graduated from interior design school in 2011.
Okay. Do you think, as far as credentials go, do you think that if somebody's looking to do this, would they have to go back to school? Like if they have a degree, like you had a degree in fashion design, which I imagine instead of putting clothes on people, you're putting clothes on furniture and walls now. Like so that's the way I look at it. Do you think you need the credentials, or would someone need those credentials to go into a field like this?
I think there's different areas that it is beneficial. It's not to say that you can't take small certifications or courses or things like that to kind of solidify certain areas of the job. That I think that could also be an option. I don't really necessarily need a full bachelor's to be an interior designer per se.
Right.
But there's also continuing education, you know, with whether it's IIDA or ASID or NKBA. There's so many different certifications that are offered right now. So it just kind of depends on what area of the industry that you're looking to get into.
Yeah.
Especially, you know, knowing local codes and things like that. It's really important, especially if you're going to get into any commercial design.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So it really kind of just depends on, you know, what type of interior design that you want to be in.
Okay. What are those? What's you said NK?
National Kitchen and Bath Association. So like right now I'm studying for a certification in remodeling with them. So to kind of just learn a little bit further details when it comes to doing renovations with kitchens and baths.
Okay.
More of
yeah, because there are codes and whatnot that go along with that. And like I just remember, you know, designs change. You know, things change and you got to kind of keep up with what's changing. I don't know if it's still hot, but I know at one point in time it was hot to like have a kitchen in your basement. I don't know when that happened, but
extended family members living with you. Yeah.
Yeah. That's like you have to, how do you keep up with stuff like that?
It's through those different programs and just staying current with the trends and these different local organizations that offer, you know, additional education to continue and making sure that you're keeping up with all of that.
Who sets these trends?
It's the different organizations.
Yeah.
So whether it's the International Interior Design Association or the Kitchen and Bath, or there's all sorts of different regulated associations that are local,
Okay.
international, and
Okay. I guess what like if you look, you were in fashion design, so Kanye West sent somebody down the down the runway wearing boots up to their waist, and then we kind of tone it down a little bit, and then like that's what you see on the street a little bit later. Or you might see, LA, New York. So like, they don't have a home runway, you know what I mean? Like
well, and a
so
lot of design does follow fashion. So we'll tend to see it, on the runways first. We'll see it in Europe. We'll see it along the coastal areas, and then it trickles through the Midwest. So,
okay. Yeah,
but
we're Midwest is like probably the last to get it
yeah,
right.
pretty
Yeah,
much.
we are. Yeah, we aren't fashion savvy like you would be on the coast, East Coast, West Coast. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's cool. I mean, and that's not easy. That's not easy. One of the things that I mentioned in the write-up that I did for the post was, you got to do all of this and you got to do life too. How do you guys balance that? How do you balance your regular life uh and setting personal records, in the mile? How do you balance all of that, Jason?
Um, it's there is a balance, right? So there's this work, I like to say work life balance. You can make $1 million a year and be unhappy, right? So there's
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then some people can make $20,000 a year and be the happiest person in the world. Um, there's definitely some kind of balance with friends and family and your own, yourself, having time for yourself. Um,
yeah,
it took a long time for me to kind of realize that, to kind of step back a little bit from work, um, and try to do more things for myself and for our family, which is just two of us. We don't have kids, so it makes it a little bit easier compared to
yeah,
people kids that especially like my business partner has kids in sports, and he's dragging one kid one place every night. They're somewhere else, right? Soccer, basketball, every night. It's wild. Um,
right.
for me or for us, I think kind of setting a schedule.
Yeah,
So that gym we go to, the Orange Theory Fitness, is something we kind of do together, but we also do it apart, right? So um, she'll go in the morning, I'll go at night, but it's the same class, right? So the same thing she did in the morning, the same thing I did at night, and we could talk about it. There's competitions right there. We did a small competition together,
yeah,
which was
Try.
their dry try, which is like one of their big benchmark things. It's a fun thing to do, but it's something even when we're not together, we're doing it together because we're doing the same workouts, right? Because it's the same exact thing. So she goes tomorrow morning and say, "Hey, the workout was hard. Go heavy, go light. I don't know what to do later in the day." So we're still kind of talking about it.
right.
One thing we do try to do as much as possible, we do at least try to sit down and eat dinner together. And it's a rule we unfortunately break all the time, but we do talk about putting our phones down for that 30 minutes to an hour.
Yeah,
There's instant gratification by people right now, whether it's uh, customers, coworkers, other business, other designers, other contractors she works with. People need answers so fast,
yeah,
and it's hard not to deliver.
yeah,
So um,
yeah,
doing small things. We try to do a date night once a week at least. Just try to get out of the house and do something like that. I think it's small things, right? You can start,
right.
um, but I think it's important. Work-life balance, family, friends. You can't do too much of one thing because then other things fizzle out, I think.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Now, how was it when you were filming? Like, was it a little bit harder because you're on somebody else's schedule? I mean, not to say you aren't on somebody else's schedule now, but
Yeah, I guess when you take anything extra on, right? So the filming part, that'd be extra.
right.
More so the behind the scenes.
Yeah, it was more behind the scenes again. So we were filming during COVID. It kind of just started, so there was a lot of things we had to deal with. We had to do testing a lot. We had to do a lot of phone calls, a lot of meetings, and a lot of stuff behind the scenes to make sure people weren't getting sick or exposed, or if someone got exposed on my team, I couldn't have half my team there, and that slowed things
Right.
down. There was one of the episodes I had COVID, so I wasn't around, and they were talking to my guys. That's like the only time my guys even got really talked on air. It's kind of funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was it. They did most of the stuff during normal business hours, so it wasn't terrible. They weren't trying to take me on the weekends.
Yeah.
Behind the scenes, the scheduling, the coordinating, because they need to know when things are happening. Project A, you're putting cabinets in on Tuesday, but project C, we want to see the chandelier going because it's a design feature that
Right.
Tiffany can pick this design feature out. So we got to make sure we watch someone install that. And it could just
Right.
be, sometimes they would send just a camera guy and they would just watch the guy install, but he had to get out there, and it's coordinating, and it's the testing, and I think the COVID thing added a big monkey wrench into it. I would love to know what it would be like without COVID and things being a little smoother.
Yeah. Yeah. Because you said you got the Q-tip treatment like every day. Oh,
Yeah. That was, when we started, that was the Q-tip when you touch your brain, and then you got to hand it in, and we were doing it. They kind of streamlined it a little bit, and then towards the end, because it was really the development of the testing, and we started pretty early in the COVID phase, I guess you call it.
right.
By the end, we were able to do the spit and the spit test and all that stuff. So it was a learning experience all around. It gave it was kind of nice for us because they were providing my whole team, because people were in with the camera crew and Tiffany's crew and all that stuff. So we all had to test, which I think helped me in my business. It's trying to find silver lining in something that was kind of a pain in the butt.
Right.
Testing all the time. So we were able to tell us customers, hey, we're testing like every 3 days. We're getting negative results all the time. If someone was sick, I was able to pull them out right away. We were able to double test. We were, so
Yeah.
I think it helped me.
Okay.
A little bit with the struggle that a lot of people had, not knowing that their customer, if their crew was sick or how it spread, or
Right. Right.
I started to segment guys into different crews and try not to mix guys up as much.
Yeah.
So it was a learning experience.
Yeah. Yeah. I never thought about that, man. That's I'm a silver lining type cat, man. And I guess dude, that's it was a lot of pain with that, with taking temperatures every day, and you're a business owner having to buy all of this stuff, man. It probably took a lot of pressure off of you. That you didn't have to as much go through all of that. You had to go through it, but somebody else was paying for it at least.
Yeah, that did help. That was a benefit for sure. And then, like I said, not just normal customers knowing, hey, here's our test results right here from the other day.
Yeah.
You still wear a mask up and you still do your thing, but I think when people invite you into their home, they want to feel comfortable. It's a little different than a commercial job, which we do commercial too, but getting invited to someone's home is a different thing.
Right.
You're working, they gotta like you, and they gotta trust you. So
right.
It's a good combination of all three.
Yeah. Right. Dana, 2-part question for you. So we started off, how do you pull away from owning your own business? How do you are you able to just pull away from that?
Yeah.
To
So
have time with family and whatnot.
yeah. So in the morning, I don't check any emails or notifications or anything until after I leave the gym. So that's I got to make sure that I do some self-improvement time in the morning first thing, and then I do kind of start to dive in, and then I have settings on my phone that I don't allow any phone calls or anything after 8 p.m. So usually by the time we sit down to dinner, I'm done checking work emails at that point, so that I kind of make sure that I maintain that routine and some work-life balance.
Yeah.
Unwind.
When I grow up, I want to be like Dana. I'm a right now, for real, I'm a right now type of person. I have a hard time doing that. I think a lot of people, like, that's a blessing that you can do that, because I think a lot of people, it's like you hear the phone ring, it's like, I'm not gonna look at it. I'm not, but you end up, before you know it, you got it in your hand, you answering text, you answering, and then also, like, people are very demanding, like, so what I'm finding in life is, you move and you're interacting with people, people are very demanding, and like, they want to know, like, didn't you see my message that I sent? It's like, yo, can I like, breathe for a minute? Like, yeah, I saw it. They want you to call them right now, they want you to answer text right now. So that's an art. That's an art. Kudos to you.
Yeah.
How did you deal with COVID?
Um, it it honestly wasn't as bad for us because a lot of what we do is remote and digital. So right when COVID hit, it was like literally the day everything was shutting down. I had a client go, "I need you to come measure my entire house real quick." So, I mean, that it was kind of good timing because then it took us, a little bit to be able to draw it all up into the 3D and start sourcing things remotely and whatnot.
Right.
But a lot of what we can do is over Zoom for majority of our design phases,
Yeah.
and get into material selections and things like that. And at that point, clients were fine with us kind of coming into their home wearing a mask and doing brief interactions and whatnot. So it
Yeah,
wasn't.
that's I guess you for you, yeah, it's a little bit easier to do everything remote. You send them a design, or like you said, Zoom, they could watch it on Zoom. Did you have people that like, because we're in the Midwest, and like, I took COVID seriously, probably not as seriously as some. I probably took it a little bit more seriously than some. But like, did you have people that were like, no, I want to come in and look at it? Or like, people that were demanding like that?
Yeah, I mean, we had all sorts. So some people were like trying to hug me the minute I walked in, and some people were chasing me with hand sanitizer. So it was the luck of the draw what you're going to get that day for a client
Right,
meeting. So.
right, right. You had to tell them like, yo, I'm not trying to die today. Get away from me. Yeah, that's in construction, it was weird because I didn't have any time off. And I don't, Jason, it sounds like you didn't either.
Yeah,
Like,
it was very busy, and I think as people kind of started to realize that maybe they were staying out of the office or that vacation wasn't going to happen, they repurposed that money into their homes. Um,
yeah,
there was a handful of the front sitting room that grandma had the white couch with the plastic on that no one went into.
yeah,
People are getting rid of those and turning them into home offices, right?
yeah, yeah,
Transitioning their houses into part offices and finding new spaces, or finishing the basement because now we're home with the 3 kids and everyone's right here. So we got to finish
right,
this basement tomorrow, right? So
right.
um, it was we were very fortunate to stay busy.
Yeah,
And it, all my guys and all their family and everyone, uh, no one was majorly sick with COVID. I think it went through my whole team, over time, but no one was majorly sick. No, I don't think anyone really went to the hospital or anything like that. So we were very fortunate. Um,
right.
and we just kept on moving along. And there was a lot of the commercial spaces was getting, their money, and we were doing tenant improvement stuff to spaces, and because they're trying to, they were getting retainment to keep people,
Yeah,
so they're putting money back into the business, right? So
right.
we were doing some of that. So it worked out. It worked out in our favor.
Yeah, it was. I remember that, man. It was a good time because I did have coworkers that I think we got a stipend, if you were at home, or if you wanted to stay at home with your kids, so a lot of guys did actually take off. They got unemployment, they took off. But what you did see a lot of is people that were remodeling their homes, or you had to go in and fix something that somebody messed up that they thought they could do. You know, I'm sure it was a lot of handyman during that time. But yeah, it actually was yeah, with design too. There were a lot of people that because people had time, people, for once, people had time. I didn't have any time. I just decided to keep working because I probably would go crazy if I sat still for 2 seconds. And but it was weird for us, man. I remember when it first started. we had we have these safety stand downs at work, and they decided like to talk about COVID. We had a safety stand down in the basement, no windows, so everybody gathered in the basement so we could talk about this disease that's killing everybody. But if you breathe on somebody, guys, you could possibly die. Like, that's cool, man. We all down here in the basement. Thanks. but yeah, construction was. I thought that it was going to be totally different, but it was in high gear. It was in high gear, even commercial on the commercial side. So you guys find time. You find time to work out. What would you say to somebody? Dana, we'll start with you this time. What would you say to somebody that 20-year-old Dana that, or 20, you're getting out of college, 21, 22, 22-year-old Dana that wants to get into this field or even own their own business?
It's a lot of work. Be prepared. And I think having some sort of you have to have that work-life balance, because it will run you into the ground for sure. When I first started in this industry, I definitely was working, morning, noon, and night. Oh, geez.
That's my mom. Thanks, Mom. My mom she's a nursing home administrator, so she took it. Yeah. So she was very, very busy.
She is a mom. She made sure.
Thanks, Bob. There you go. How many?
Sorry, Dana.
How often you get that to get called out on a podcast?
I'm used to John Marie just cutting it. I'm just kidding. But yeah, no, I mean, just, obviously the work-life balance and really kind of just making the good connections and knowing how to put yourself out there. It is very helpful to kind of start to build the type of, projects and clientele that you're looking to have for long term. So that's huge. I've done a lot of, networking with different chambers and things like that. So I think that was very helpful in making some good connections off the bat when I first started out.
Right. Yeah, I agree. I mean, I'm not doing what you guys are doing, but I'm, with this podcast, and I told you I'm trying to, I'm doing some ironwork type stuff on the side. And it's all about, a lot of it is about who you know. Like, whenever you're in business, it's about, and it's not about who where like you're sucking up to people, but just building relationships with people. And most of the time, like, if you think about it, if anybody's trying to start something, if you think about it, the first thing you kind of say to yourself is, oh, shoot, something's wrong with the plumbing. You know a plumber? Or you call your friends, do you know a plumber? Do you know somebody that does drywall? You don't go online like drywalls. You don't know who these people are. I would rather know somebody to know somebody than to, you got to be that somebody that somebody knows.
And that is our business. It's mostly word of mouth. So
yeah. Jason, what would some guys trying to go into construction? Why would you want to do that? But what's your, Jason, you doing it big. Todd, you out here, man. You trying to get something going. Todd is my buddy. Jason, what would you say to somebody that's trying to get off the ground with this?
So my path started a little different than a lot of guys. You went to, the union guy to get the trade schools, and they can go into that, and that's a great route, right? So that gets you where you need to be. It gets you, that's a great route. My route was, I was in the reserve in the Navy. I was a builder in the Navy, and I was going to school, and I'm good with my hands. So, I got incorporated, and I put a handyman ad in some papers. I mean, that's where I started, to help pay for school, help have some gas money, have some drinking money on the side,
Yeah, right.
That's where I started. And then, I could do certain things. And then someone said, hey, can you do this? And I go, I can do it. I've never done it, but I'm pretty sure I can do it. Give me a try. And it just, it was me doing handyman stuff. And then a couple of other guys that I was going to school with, we started doing like, to take a guy and let's go paint something. And then a friend of the family had a construction company, and he was looking for help with his company here and there. And I started working with him here and there. So it was a different path. Here you go. It was about people I knew, right? So someone was there to help bring me in, and this guy that I was working for every now and then is now my business partner. That that we run things. But I would say with a lot of the new rules and the new codes and stuff like that, even going to like a junior college and getting some kind of learning how to read blueprints, learning how to do something like that. Construction management, anything like that. It depends on where you want to take it. If you want to run a construction company, construction management, schooling is good. If you want to,
Yeah. I say I hate it, but yeah, like you won't hate it if that's what your passion is. Because I guess my next question was, uh, so like union, it is good. You get the training, but one thing that I found, it's not difficult because I'm kind of in a leadership role at work. But what's a little bit more difficult is you have your hands on the work. So if you're just a worker, you have your hands on the work. I know how to do this, but then you get to the point where it's like, well, what do I order and what lengths do they come in and what like how much does it cost? I know the tools that I need, but like how do I work this money situation out? I got to pay these people. Do I ask for the money first? The business side is huge. To know that is huge.
Yeah, and that's where I think that was the biggest struggle for me. Making sure, and it still is, ordering things correctly or not having the right information. A lot of times it's my fault. I don't measure something right. I misorder. I miswrite it down. I have the world's worst handwriting, so I can't even read my own handwriting sometimes. But yeah, the business side is hard. And then, I have a handful, I have like 12 guys, and just making sure I collect money in time to pay these guys. Cause there's 12 people that their family, they need to get paid. They need to pay their bills. They need to pay their school for their kids and stuff like that. So, it took me a long time. I was doing handyman stuff for a long time. And then, I graduated every year. It got a little bigger, a little better, a little bigger, a little better. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was a learning curve. Did you say I don't know if I missed it, but did you say you went to school? You didn't go to school for that.
I did not. I was going to school for like business administration.
Right.
I originally wanted to be an architect, and I kind of saw that like everyone behind the scenes is more like a businessman compared to like an actual, like you said, you're great at, you can weld, you're the great, best welder in the world, but maybe you don't know what angles to order or what size pipe to order. You got to learn how to do both. And that's one of the hard things to do, to know what it's cost, or, is sometimes your time, it's not worth it, even though you think it's a big job, but all these material, becomes a thing. So that's a learning curve. And you don't always, trust me, you definitely don't always win it. My friends have a story about the first basement I did. And a couple of my friends were helping me out. And I'm like hanging on we were closing some drywall off, and I'm like hanging on a wall, Spider-Man, and putting like drywall up, and I don't have the right equipment, the right tools. I got over my head, right? But it was a learning experience. I made it through, and everything was fine. But sometimes it's kind of good to walk that line or come close to fail, or even fail. You gotta learn.
Yeah. That's you got to not be afraid to fail, I guess, in starting your own business. You have to be able to, which is hard, man. Like, who wants to fail? And I said, like, starting this podcast, man, you also get that feeling in your gut where it's like, just quit, just go back to what you used to and go work for somebody. But, it's not an option. I'm not a quitter. You guys probably aren't quitters. You were in the Navy. You aren't a quitter. So, but everybody, I think, that's trying to do your own thing, you get that feeling in your gut to just quit, especially when you're in over your head, especially when it's dealing with money. I'd imagine. I haven't been over my head in money, but it's got to be hard to work, like to be able to, because all you're thinking about is, man, I'm losing every day.
Yeah. Or when, there's certain pay schedules commercially, there's 30, 60, 90, 120 day pay.
Oh,
that, I'm a small company. I don't have a backer. I don't have much. I mean, we do okay, but I don't have much. If I don't get paid, I can't pay my guys. And unfortunately that doesn't happen. And things are growing and we're getting more bankroll, but but it takes time. And getting
Yeah.
business credit, stuff like that, isn't as easy as people make it sound. I've been in business almost 20 years. I just got my first business credit card last year.
Wow.
So I mean, yeah, it takes time. I mean, at least for
Yeah.
me, it did. Maybe I wasn't
Yeah.
going up, calling the right people, but it took time for me.
Yeah.
And it's still
I
great. Yeah.
I started a business account. I wanted to go a different direction with it. So I started this account. I'm like, yeah, man, like now I feel official. I got a business account. And so I started it with the online bank, because that's the big thing now. I didn't want to go through the hassle of sitting at, whatever Chase and and you denying me. So I'm like, this online bank is just giving them out. So I'll take that. So I started this. I deposited the money. I went to go buy material. I didn't have the plastic card. I had virtual card. And so I go to pay for the material and they're like, sir, your card got declined. Here we go. So I started doing some research. The stupid card had a $500 limit. Like all their virtual cards for this bank. It wasn't because of me. It was but they really hid this. And it just kind of put me in a spot, man, because now I got to transfer money around and like I was looking like a bum, like it really had me. And matter of fact, it turned into something because I use an American Express card, and American Express is different. And so like I think their CVV is like on the front, it's not the 3 numbers on the back. You have a different. So that card got denied 2 times, and I'm sitting there explaining like I have money in the bank because I'm not broke. I'm really just trying to do this. They were like, yeah, sir, we're not taking any more of your cards. So yeah, it is. It's a struggle, man. And I can only imagine that on a larger scale where you got people to pay and you got people looking at you. This was just for material for me. But you might have a payroll of a couple thousand, a couple 100,000, for the week, for the month, whatever. And these people they're not taking no for an answer. And you got jobs to do. People will absolutely not come to work if you don't pay them. So
Correct.
yeah, that's got to be a struggle.
I think that's any business owner, restaurant owners, anyone,
Mhm.
they got to pay these people. They did their time. They come in, they get, if you lose that week, you still got to be able to pay them.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
that's scary. It's hard. It's
Yeah.
the biggest things.
Yeah. Because I got my foot in one door and in the other, and I'm not trying to hear that. I need my money. But yeah, that's absolutely hard. What would you Dana, I don't know if you had to deal with business credit or what's the overhead for a design business, but what would you say to somebody trying to get business credit, or what would you do?
You do have to be able to have some sort of business credit. I mean, some of my purchase orders, if I'm buying furniture for clients and whatnot, it could be upward of $100,000 worth of, transactions that we're doing in a given, call it week, if we're ordering furniture or whatnot. So it's really important to have a good relationship with your banking manager to make sure that they're helping you push checks through, making sure that, they're checking that things are clearing in time and things like that in order to be able to push things through. I did have to do a pretty significant increase on my business credit card to be able to order significant amounts of furniture at a time. So it's important to make sure that you're keeping up on that stuff for sure.
Yeah, no doubt, because we're ordinary people with extraordinary stories, but still ordinary people. I don't have $100,000 right now. I mean, it's coming, but not to pay for all of this. Yeah, so credit is king, and I guess it is good to establish that. What would you say, Jason, is like how would someone go about establishing that business credit, or how would you what steps would you take?
So for me, I think it took me a little while to do it, and I didn't have a lot of kind of had to learn everything myself a little bit. Again, not really having like that business management or like the construction management degree or knowing the insides of all that stuff. I saw a guy. You know what I did? Oh, this guy is crazy. So he, what I did was, what I finally did, we went into like Sherwin-Williams or Benjamin Moore and got store credit, and they give you a little bit of credit in the store. And starting small was them or a supply house, and they give you 5-10 grand but it's only for them, right? And you got to pay it every month and all that. I think that built my my credit with
and that's what I keep hearing is I wanted to hear you say it, but that's what I keep hearing is that that's how you go about doing it. You start small. Supply house. I keep hearing supply houses. I was shout out to Mommy Made Chicago. Mommy Made Chicago. I'm going to take a break here probably next month. I have a couple people coming on next month, but I'm going to be taking a break, and so I'm going to be rerunning a lot of my episodes because I want more people to see it. I don't want it to be a one hit shot, but you will absolutely be seeing Mommy Made. Shout out, those are my people, Jason and now they having a whole conversation. Jason, I'm not Jason, Luke, and Ari. You guys are awesome. Yeah, they introduced me to Jason and Dana. So shout out to Mommy Made. They know everybody. Talk about networking, man. I guess when you and Jason, it's not even for the baby stuff. It's Jason. You're Jason, Luke. This is what happens when you go live. That's a cut. But Luke actually introduced us. But Luke actually worked for you, huh?
Luke's done some things for me here and there. Yeah, he's worked for me a bit. He's a jack of all trades a little bit. He's from swinging hammer. Right?
No, Luke is a man. That's my guy, man. I'm going to say they let me actually design something for one of their products, and he just showed me the product the other day, and I'm kind of excited because again, it's almost like construction. I got to see something that I made. I'm not posting that one, Luke. But yeah, this shout out to them, man. Mommy Made Chicago. Yo, if you guys have to look, you have to either let me make you a commercial or give me a commercial or something, because I'm sick of just talking about it. I need to spotlight you guys because that's an excellent business too. What they're doing picking up placentas, man, like making pills out of them, helping women be more healthy, helping new mothers become more healthy. They're able to produce milk, all kinds of great benefits. But I'm absolutely going to be posting that conversation that we set out and had again. Jason and Dana, I always go over time, and for once, I don't think I will this time. Thank you guys so much, man. You guys have helped me out. A lot of these questions were for me, and this will absolutely get posted again. But I really appreciate this.
Thank you, Ron. We appreciate it.
Yeah. Hey, you guys, check out their businesses, man. If you need any home remodeling done, you stay in the suburbs. Check out Silverbullet, custom residential and commercial remodeling. If you own anything, it seems like Jason does it all. So if you're looking for somebody, check out Jason. Yo, if you're looking for some design, check out Dana of Desa Design Studio. This is her contact right here. Hit her up. If you're out in that western suburbs, northwest suburbs, Dana, you probably do work all over the place.
Yeah, I'm assuming.
Yeah. You guys hit them up, man. These things this is absolutely amazing. Jason was on television doing it, so he knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing. So you guys check them out. Thank you guys once again for coming on the V&O, man. I am absolutely amazed.
Thanks, Ron.
At you guys. I'm amazed. Thanks again. Yo, check us out next week.
But have you ever thought, what if this is all just a dream? And we're just waiting in line to wake up? And most people think I'm insane. Once you realize that all the shit you used to care so much about just keeps you a prisoner of your own mind.